This is the seventh video about Alibaba, and we've been looking at the Alibaba.com site and we've been looking at Tmall.com, but we haven't looked at Taobao, which is like one of the absolute biggest sites they have. The best kind of description of this is it's kind of like the eBay of China. So it's made for kind of consumer to consumer sales, small businesses selling to, selling to consumers, or just consumers selling to another consumer. So it's kind of like, eBay or Craigslist maybe. In this video, I want to just go through this, the Taobao concept in a one-pager, showing you kind of the main features and the stats. So let's start with customer segments. 80% of the sellers that are on the Taobao platform are born between 1980 and 1999. So it's mainly like the young people of China that are kind of selling goods on the site. And if we look at the consumption, around 53% of all the consumption is estimated to come from the young part of the population by 2020. So as a part of the population, the young people of China are more likely to kind of, be on these platforms selling and buying stuff. And the sellers here are kind of like small business, consumer to consumer, in the same way as, eBay or Craigslist. It's usually like smaller businesses. So the problem that they're trying to solve is like, different types of users have different needs. This is like one big problem that they have kind of made a intelligent solution to recently. So what I mean by that is like every single person has different levels of like awareness and usage on the site. So what they have done is that they have made 3 basic user experiences, one for like new people, one for experienced people, and one for advanced. And the kind of things that they push to these different people are different. So like in the one where it's like a new person, they have more kind of coupons and stuff like that than they would have in like the experienced one. So the interface of the platform is kind of changing depending on how much you use it. So one of the critical questions here is obviously like, you want to find what you're looking for. So like you want to find whatever you want to buy at the moment. And for the seller part of this, they obviously want to appear in the search results. So like when a person searches, there will be a list of products, and the sellers obviously want to get on top of the list to sell their things. So the solutions that they have for this is like, as I said before, like the 3 various interfaces, depending on how advanced the person is and how like digitally mature that person is. And then they have 3 strategic directions that they're talking about, and that is community, content, and local life. Those are like the 3 things that they're like as a strategic focus. And for the sellers, as I said before, they obviously want to get up high in this search results, kind of like, if you're Googling something, you want your site to be like on the top of Google. And in the same way here, the sellers of these various products can buy ads to kind of get on top in the search results. And if we look at the unique value proposition, well, they have 666 million monthly active users, which is a lot. And that's kind of like their unfair advantage. Also, they have tons of users, and they also have a tons of like ratings and reviews, which is very, very important, because like all of these sellers, as I said before, are kind of like small businesses that people don't really know. So then you need to have ratings and review in order to like make people trust these sellers. So it's very, very hard to sell something on, for instance, eBay without having ratings and reviews before. The first person that are kind of buying is kind of taking a risk, because no one knows who this supplier is. And that's kind of the same thing here. Like the new entrants to the market trying to sell their stuff has to kind of like lower the price. And then whenever they start to build up reviews, then they can kind of like start to increase their price. One kind of new channel for acquiring users is L.me and Kobe. So what they did is that they invested in these 2 companies, and then they kind of merged them together. Kobe is like a platform for content around local businesses. So it has like restaurants and information about various restaurants. And L.me has delivery of food. So they kind of merge these together, which is very smart. You know, they have both the delivery and the content in the same place. And Alibaba made this because like the CEO of Alibaba said that, you know, starting to deliver food is kind of like a base for everything else. Like because a lot of people in China are using these online e-commerce for food, like online food delivery systems. You know, you get the traffic, like 34% in China that are buying food via their mobile phone. You get that traffic every month, right? So it's kind of one of the big channels for them to like acquire users. And when it comes to the key metrics, like they had 666 month average users. And if we compare this to the eBay had like 177 million. And they grew around 10.4% last quarter, and eBay grew about 4%. So they're like growing a lot faster than eBay does with a bigger user base. And if we look at the revenue, they had around 12.4 billion last quarter, and eBay had around 2.1. So they're kind of like, I calculated this, and they're like making more money per user, and they also have more users. So and they're growing faster. So like they're kind of making they kind of have better performance on all these levels than eBay has. In terms of revenue, you know, the various sellers on the platform can kind of pay to get higher up in the search results. They can also do banner ads, and they have like email, SMS, and targeted lists that people can use to market their products. But they don't charge commission, so they don't get anything whenever there's a transaction on the platform, which is different from eBay. eBay gets a transaction every time someone is paying something on the platform. And if we look at the cost structure, well, they have a lot bigger cost of revenue than eBay. So it's like 30% for Alibaba in general, the whole group, versus 22% for eBay. And if you look at marketing, they spend like 11% in marketing, and eBay spent 34%. So they have a much higher cost, eBay, for acquiring users than Alibaba has. And this number for Alibaba is the whole group of companies. So it's not only the Taobao site, but I think it says something about like the difference between eBay and Taobao. The user seems to be cheaper for Taobao to acquire than eBay. And product and development is like, it's fairly similar. Alibaba has 9% and eBay has 12%. So eBay is spending more. Okay, this was a very short introduction to the Taobao site. I think it's very cool that they have like 666 million users. It's impressive. What do you think about this? Was it interesting to hear about this? If you want me to do more of these, please comment. Maybe comment the name of the company that you think I should do one of these for. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing.